So the research that the Nobel Prize Committee liked is about the history of institutions. Where did the rule of law come from? Where did our court system come from? Where did our political system and the various constraints that represent and really are the essence of democracy, where do they all come from? And why is it the case that some countries have got, pretty good institutions, not perfect, surely, anywhere, but pretty good, good for people, good for business, good for workers, and other parts of the world that started out, pretty similar 200, 500 years ago, they don't have good institutions, and those problematic institutions mean there's a lot of corruption, a few people have a lot of power, most people don't have much. And we've got these massive disparities of income per capita around the world. So we dug into the history of that, and we particularly found that within the European colonial experience, there was a massive divergence in what the European colonizers had tried to do in different places. And when the Europeans had wanted to go to a place because it was pretty healthy, they'd established better institutions for themselves, frankly, but those percolated down in most cases to meet other people. But when the Europeans had not wanted to stay in a place, they were there for the slave trade, they were there for plantations, but they would leave quite quickly because the death rates were high for Europeans based on local disease. In those places, the Europeans did not establish institutions that were favorable to most people. We call those now extractive institutions. So it's inclusive versus extractive institutions. Extractive is bad, inclusive is good in this long historical context. And that colonial legacy, it's not predestination. There's ways to escape poverty traps, but it's hard, honestly. There's a very long shadow of that European colonization, which really impacted almost everywhere in the world and has given us a big part of the modern global structure and the division of labor and who builds software and who sews clothes. And that's something you just have to, I think, look at hard and think about, okay, how do we get beyond this? What do we need to do for ourselves, for the planet, for poor people? And I think it was we help people understand that reality.